is Mancave Live with your host, Lexington Steele, and co-host, Andre Lavelle and Johnny Depp on LA Talk Radio. Let's get it in.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, good evening. Here we are on another sunny Southern Californian evening here on the Man Cave. Andre Lavelle, what's going on?
What's happening?
I'm good, man. My head is literally exploding, but with a migraine, kind of like Scottie Pippen back several years ago, historic performance in the NBA playoffs. But even as we speak, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers setting off against the Golden State Warriors in the NBA 2015 championship, kicking off tonight in the Golden State, up there at the Oracle Arena in Oakland. So
You should have smoked a bowl, man. Your head wouldn't be hurt.
no. You know, there's time and place for everything, and we like to have all our wits about us as we embark on another night here on the Man Cave, as we anxiously await the arrival of Thomas Bell, who will join us again this evening, and we do enjoy his presence on a semi-regular basis. So what's going on, Dre? What's going on out there? What are we going to? We got to remind people, please feel free to call us at 818-570-5085.
Yes, sir. We have quite a few interesting things going on in the news lately. It seems that the NSA, is that what is it? The what is it? The man who runs I'm tripping too.
What?
The airport security.
Yeah.
He stepped down because they were able to get some things through there.
Well, what you're talking about? You're alluding to right there on the notes that have been provided.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
But TSA fails the internal test, letting fake bombs through, amongst other things. It was like, as reported, it was like, I think some 77% of the things that they were supposed to be checking for had gotten through, with about 90% of the they failed 67 of 70 tests, and there were some incredible amounts of
They got through like mock explosives,
right, even
knives,
right, toy
guns.
Yeah.
But okay, if they failed that much, that would also say that no one's been trying to get anything through there, and apparently, because we haven't had any terrorist activity. So if they were getting stuff through, nothing's happened. So maybe all of this was just a big waste of money and effort.
I doubt that. I mean, the TSA, I don't know how it is in other. I mean, I don't travel as well or as much as others, but say Los Angeles, my familiarity extends to Los Angeles, New York, Newark, Vegas, and Miami, as far as traveling domestically. And it does seem like it does seem like an inconvenience, but perhaps it does also seem like it has been working. Now the fact that it turns out that they are so poorly equipped.
Well, has it been working, or was it all a smokescreen to start with?
Good question. Good question. I mean,
because if they got through as much as they said they did, and we've been doing this for however long, since 9/11, and other than one supposed shoe bomber, that's the only terrorist they've caught, only person who's tried to do anything terror-related via airport security risks. Just makes you go,
One of the things I found interesting, people, is that in this report, there was one of the undercover agents that literally had a bomb taped to his back, and he was patted down by the TSA agent who literally rubbed his hand on the small of the undercover agent's back where the actual fake bomb was, and still was not able to detect that there was something that he was carrying on his body.
Well, it was like a small bump. I mean, some people wear money, money
like,
belts.
right.
And so, because it looked like a little money belt.
Right.
So, and then everyone's so quick to want to sue or, you're invading my privacy. He's trying to keep his job. You can't win for losing, because if you go above and beyond, you end up in trouble. Then if you don't do enough, you end up in trouble. So it's like, man.
Well, ideally the TSA agents would err on the side of overprotection. But that's a slippery slope as well, as we've seen the over exuberance of a number of police departments across the country end in turmoil, with a number of things having happened. Good evening, Mr. Bell, as Thomas Bell makes it into the office here at Mancave to join the discussion. We are currently discussing how the Transportation Security Administration has had the step down of their president, who resigned.
Yeah, he resigned
days ago.
Oh, okay.
And the question is, did the guy resign based on this finding, most likely, or did he resign in advance of perhaps being fired? Or are we talking semantics at that point? Tomato.
I don't think it matters, because the agency has failed, pretty much. But my thing was, like I said before, did they really fail, or was it a made-up agency to start with to keep people in fear and take away more of our liberties? Because since 9/11, they've put up cameras everywhere. They're able to listen to your phone calls. They're flying drones all over. You know what I'm saying? All of this fear mongering just to create,
To the mic.
a police state, more or less.
One, two.
Right? Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Well, look, I've traveled, and every time I travel, there is a measure of frustration. And please get involved as soon as you want, Thomas. But the question is this, guys, and as we brought this up, I have a difficult time remembering in great detail what it was like before this TSA system was implemented.
I remember, because
okay, so by
living
comparison,
in Chicago, being bored, not really having the opportunity or thinking I'd ever travel, I would go to O'Hare Airport on the weekends just to watch the planes take off. And you'd have full access, and you could see the different people from different countries, and that was my little weekend thing to do. Now you can't do that.
well, as far as being able to walk through security and walk all the way to the gate.
You could go all the way to the gate
Right.
and watch planes take off. You can see people when they get off the plane.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's a better-
That was, and now this illusion is that they were safer is just an illusion. We're pulling off, getting almost naked in the, they kind of won.
Yeah.
The war against us on that one, they kind of won on that one, because now you got everybody, down to the underwear, or down to the socks, bare feet, going through.
And they look at you with the X-ray, so essentially you are naked.
Yeah.
Well, now that you're talking about the
body scan.
Did you walk through the one, or the one where
Yeah.
it's like a telephone booth?
Yeah, the telephone booth.
Because the telephone booth thing, that one,
It goes around you.
right.
It's an X-ray.
But evidently, it's not as strong or effective as people.
Yeah, that's
thought,
what they.
right?
They do say that. They said that it doesn't pick up all that much stuff. It only picks up certain things that they're looking for in shapes that shouldn't be on your body.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not. So then it is a myth then that it's able to have body cavity search capabilities. Is that a myth?
That's
then?
a myth.
That's a
No,
myth. Okay.
they have to take your side and do that.
Right, a
Good
secondary
reason, right.
pat down.
Right.
A
But
little
I'm
bit
trying
more
to understand
effective.
how they got mock explosives through one of those.
Mm-hmm.
As they didn't they just do that 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Explosives, toy guns.
yeah, banned weapons.
But I've been saying
95%,
that
95%.
it
Yeah.
was ineffective. Because when I traveled doing my photography, I'd always have a knife in my camera bag. And sometimes
Like you need a knife in your camera bag.
well, if I'm putting up a prop or I need to cut something, or it's
okay.
just a knife,
Oh, okay.
or I have a razor blade or something, because you never know. And so I'd
switchblade.
have it in my not a switchblade, but I had it in my camera bag, and I'd forget, and it would go through, and then once I land and I'm going through my equipment, like, oh, I forgot to take my knife out.
Well, then question though, now we learned this when, and was it I guess the Baltimore case where the young man had a weapon, or not a weapon but a knife on him, and he was summarily thrown into the back of a paddy wagon and ended up not making it out alive. But the question had been with that knife, right? A spring-loaded knife makes it a weapon versus an item of utility. So perhaps the knife you were carrying was considered a utility knife versus a spring action.
But a knife is a knife
Right,
if
but
you're
knife
on an
is a knife,
airplane.
and also they decide by measurement in some cases. Wait a minute, was it in the luggage or was it on the plane with you?
It was on the plane with me in my camera bag.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to have that on there.
Yeah.
In your luggage, you can carry it on as long as you carry that's there.
It's separate.
But the switchblade argument, there's no actual use for that other than
To use it for a weapon
something.
or something.
Right. That was the argument that it didn't have a functionality that was worth its price on society.
Because in Baltimore, as I understand the reading of that law, in the city or in the district, a spring action knife is illegal, but statewide, it was not illegal. So that begged the question: why then was the young man accosted by the officers merely at the sight of the blade, of which the guy turned and ran? We're talking about Freddie Gray, who had the knife.
But even with that, I mean, as someone who's into knives a little bit, switchblades are really pointless, because it's not strong. It's not strong enough to do any real damage. It looks good. It's cute to go, but unless you just, it's kind of
Well,
the blade will break really easy on a switchblade, as opposed to a nice fold out.
now what happened? Speaking of, now that we're into knives, what happened with that? Wasn't there a lady that attacked officers with, or had the situation with the military knife? Happened just a couple days ago. There was a military knife, and then that person was summarily shot by the cops as well. That happened just days ago. And it was a military grade knife in that case. Now this is obviously crossing or going off on a tangent compared to the TSA fails, but it's just the notion that many things are getting through. Now they also a couple weeks ago had issues with TSA and going through the passengers or airport security rifling through passengers' luggage and obviously coming away with a few of those items.
But that's been going on forever, though.
Well,
Right.
blew me away is the guy. The one with the bomb strapped on his back?
Right? Yeah, the TSA.
Did you
failed.
already discuss that?
Mhm.
Like, the bomb was strapped on the dude's back. He went through the machine. Then they patted him down and missed it.
Yeah,
But as you
it was
brought up,
around his
Craig,
waist.
yeah.
It was almost like a money belt, and it was around his waist. It was a small packet, sort of like, so I guess it could have been some kind of explosive with a detonation device, like a pin attached.
Well,
to
there was a detonation device I saw. I don't know if it was the same guy, but there was one detonation device that was put into the shoulder strap of one bag, and then what we're talking about particularly with that money bag, what looked like a money bag, but it was kind of broad across. It might have been as thick as you were saying, but it was kind of broad across his back, almost as broad as a weight belt, almost. And you would think I don't know. It's hard to say what the training is. Perhaps the training in TSA is not up to what we thought it was. Has it been a fallacy? Has it been a waste of money?
I never thought it was up in the first place. But what alarms me even more so is that if they're ineffective, your ticket prices have been increased significantly because of that.
Right.
Your time, travel time, everything has been the cost of it.
Exactly.
The cost of it, the effectiveness, and the monetary cost of it for something that's not actually effective is just ridiculous. And
the planes that have been having issues of late were not terrorist related. The terrorist was the pilot. He flew it into the freaking mountains. So,
Right.
You know, and then the Asia flights, we don't know what
Did they
happened
figure
there.
out why he did that yet? No.
He's just
It was,
crazy.
I mean, evidently, like he wanted to leave
never.
his mark, you know, on
he
the
left the
world.
mark.
Yeah, as a suicide pilot. People are crazy. You know,
It can be. Yeah.
you know, but
Break.
I don't know. I mean, and I don't know if they have the same problem in other countries. Has it been identifiable that other countries, in their efforts to step up their airport security, that crime rates are down? And it is the notion that all things that can happen in an airport are not all terror related. And I don't think that they make a distinction as to what is a terrorist act and what might just be a simple act of criminality.
And that
That's
is true.
Very true. Yes.
I find it hypocritical that you can sit in first class and they give you metal silverware, but they'll take your knife at the gate. But you just handed me a fork and a knife. If I'm gonna do something, I can do it with this.
Is it a real knife? What kind of knife is
A
it?
little butter knife, but
Little butter
still, you can cut somebody. You can stab somebody with
Yeah.
a fork.
You would stab somebody.
No,
if
you
you're gonna
could. I
do
mean,
something,
with a
you
butter
can.
knife?
And if you look at what you're getting in the other classes in the plane, is they're plastic, are they not?
Yeah.
So maybe they anticipate that the people in the first class won't be the ones that would, you know,
Even those
Jump
little
it off.
drinks, it's in a little glass bottle.
But I think the terrorists they were in first class.
where they were.
Yeah, they were first class. So they
Well,
could
yeah,
get
you're on your
everybody.
way out, so they
But
figure, you know.
I was gonna
They had
take the
box
first class
cutters though.
trip.
So
Yeah.
they took over. Supposedly they took over a plane with box cutters.
Wow.
What kind of punks are on a plane that's going?
Yeah, box cutter hurt, man.
A box cutter
That
hurt,
razor
but it's
blade?
not a gun.
Yeah, that's true.
You got
but if it's
100 and something people.
4-inch
Before he
long
gets past the
razor.
fourth person, his arm gonna be tired.
That's true. That's true. Why nobody jumped on him?
Yeah,
I don't
just
understand.
jump him. Take the
But-
zero. You sitting on a flotation device, block that sucker, and pound him.
Yeah, that's very true.
They said your seat can be used as a flotation device.
And
Therefore,
also-
it's thick enough to block a box
To
cutter.
block a box cutter.
I mean, it's a hard situation. I mean, you know, and you know, anticipating what that'll feel like, and how one would react is a tough call. I mean, you know, we've got, you know,
Self-preservation takes over. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
yeah.
If people get pissed off when a baby cried too much, think how it's gonna feel when that plane slam into a mountain. You gotta man up.
Now, speaking with airplane security, do all planes have somewhat of an undercover officer that
Yeah,
is
they're supposed to
traveling?
have somebody
Okay.
that travels with the plane and makes somebody unidentified.
So if something jumps off, then that would be the person that would
I want
jump
Wesley
off.
Snipes on my
Yes,
plane.
but
Always
yeah.
bet
No,
on
fuck
black.
that. I want Liam Neeson.
Neeson is the man.
Got a
Huh?
certain set of skills.
Yeah, I will come get you.
I'll find you
I will find you.
after this plane lands. I'll make sure you won't make it to the taxi.
Wesley. What was that movie? Always bet on black.
Oh,
That was
He was on the
I
airplane.
miss Wesley,
getting it
man.
down.
When's the last time you seen Wesley?
Expendables 3.
3, yeah.
Oh,
And
Or
it-
whatever it was.
I was.
Yeah, it was good.
I
I
missed
you
it.
know, it was he lost it after Blade. I don't know. He lost his he's
Lost
not
his
as coolness.
edge in
Yeah,
the state. And he was in federal.
in federal.
Yeah,
but
that
was
could
he
take
in
the edge
a?
off you.
But was he in a country club institution
Now,
or?
that's the question.
tax
I
evasion?
didn't hear anything.
Well, he was deeper
about
than tax
which
evasion
one.
though.
Huh?
It was deeper than tax evasion with him.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, do you know which one he went to?
I don't know. Was Leavenworth? That's the only, that's the only one I know by name. Like he'll be busting up rocks in Leavenworth.
Wow.
Or as my man, Denzel would say, he'll be busting rocks in Pelican Bay.
But did he have
You
to
know,
pay anything, or he just
Restitution
rode
of
the
some
time out?
sort?
Yeah, they just
He
ride
probably
it.
had to pay restitution and
Really?
because you figure he didn't. It wasn't like a, it was a white collar crime institution that he
McKean
served. in.
Federal Correction Institution.
Oh, okay, nice
He
looking.
was held at the McKean Federal Correction.
Now where's McKean at?
Where is in Pennsylvania?
So not only did he have to do
Declined his
time, but he
appeal.
still had to pay.
Either way, restitution is like automatic. You're gonna have to pay the
But
fine.
is the fine as much as he would have paid back taxes? Because, I mean, it might have been like, I ain't paying them. I'll ride it out. And I'm holding on to my money.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had to pay them something.
Well, he had an interesting take.
40 million
right?
in fines.
40 million in fines. So then, how much was he?
He was facing 16 years, but he didn't do 16.
Right.
He was facing 16 years and 40 million, but I don't know what the end result of that 40 million was.
Well, he
That's
didn't
what
do
they
16 years, thankfully. And the 40
maybe he
million, I
didn't do the
mean,
40 million
maybe he had to
either.
get the 40 million.
wanted. That would be a lot.
But he
Yeah.
cranked out quite a few straight to DVDs before
And
he
he
went
owns
in.
all the Blade series, doesn't he?
He owns Blade?
He owns that. Yeah, that's
Even the third one, he should give that one back.
That's it.
No, actually, not for nothing.
I
They
like
should try
Wesley.
and.
You better not be talking
No,
about
I love
that,
Wesley.
man.
They should make a number 4. I think number 3 was actually kind of corn. Ryan, the actor Ryan, something like that,
Gosling, yeah.
right? That played opposite him in that one. He went on to play.
Green Lantern and
Yeah.
screwed it up.
Yeah.
You didn't like Green Lantern?
No, I didn't. No, not saying we didn't like Green Lantern, but we didn't like him in Blade
Boy,
3
Oh yeah.
I didn't like
because he was corny
Yeah, that's
in
true.
Blade 3. It kind of made levity of what had been a very, very hard charging series. Also,
He only did 3 years out of 16.
okay, so it's a good time served.
Yeah.
But now, speaking of Wesley, different take on tax evasion. He was looking to establish an independent state,
Sovereignty.
a sovereign nation, or making himself effectively a sovereign nation, putting him outside of tax.
But isn't that what all people who don't pay their taxes try to do, saying that there's no governing over them that requires them
like
to pay their taxes?
churches.
No, I'm talking about every time somebody gets a joke. Not every time, but there's groups of people who are like, "Oh, I didn't agree to pay taxes, and we don't have to pay taxes." I mean, another guy approached me about that before and was trying to sell me on it, and I'm like, dude, you cannot pay if you don't want to. I'm going to pay, but it's interesting to find out how this is going to pan out.
Yeah.
He went to jail.
That guy that.
The guy that was telling me, I don't want to name his name, but I'm just saying, man, they all do. It's similar.
But how do we end up being forced to take on this financial obligation that we didn't ask for?
By living here, I guess part of your citizenship.
So
citizenship.
so you're paying to be a citizen of the United States? I thought
Whoa.
you born
We're all
free.
chipping in. I think the idea is we're all chipping in for the good of the whole, and the whole entity itself requires that.
Well, we're chipping in, and they're taking taxes from us out of our checks from the work that we do. What's this extra stuff?
Yeah, I'm on your side, so I'm not arguing for them.
I'm trying to
but I
understand
can tell
that.
you their argument, but it's just not. Yeah, you're paying.
And it's not spread out equally, because if I live in a certain community, I still have potholes. My trash don't get picked up.
Yeah.
The lights come on when they choose to come on, seem like. So if we're all paying equally on this tax thing, then all of us should be living in suburbia with the perfect picket fence White House.
Well, what do you call equally? Now you see, this is where the argument comes in. Are you saying we all pay the exact same thing equally, no matter where we are, our stature in life, our position in life? So the guy who makes $40 billion pays the exact same thing as the guy that makes $1,000.
Whatever they taking out of our check is supposed to be going to these
Oh,
funds.
you're saying paying equally into, not coming out of our money.
Yeah.
Okay, so paying equally into.
Yeah.
So everybody's
Because it
supposed to be
supposedly
entitled
goes
to
road repair and,
So the
streets
difficulty
and
would be then
city.
how do you, if you look at the property tax that would be assigned in, say, New Hampshire, right, versus the property tax would be assigned in, say, Skid Row, Los Angeles, they're going to be vastly different, right? What you can charge in Hampshire for what you can get out of a New Hampshire property. I'm sorry, a Skid Row property.
So they're getting more care and.
So they're raising more money to New Hampshire, so they have more money to make things better. Whereas a property taxes, say in Skid Row, may not yield enough money to get Skid Row out of a Skid Row like situation.
Yeah. Right. So
It's almost
nobody owns anything down there that's worth any money,
Until
and
there's
nobody's paying on
gentrification.
it because the houses are
And
bad.
so that's part of the plan as well.
Then
So
there's no money to put into cleaning up.
Well, we could go all the way back to the beginnings of taxation purposes in the United States, with Great Britain exacting a tariff on the United States that still continues today, with the administration of of Social Security numbers, you are effectively making yourself an independent corporation in the eyes of Western society and civilization, and it is through your Social Security number that your paying of taxation or not paying is tracked. Every person that has issued a Social Security number by the United States is ascribed a dollar amount that they are to pay the United Kingdom by way of taxation. So that is something that is historic, and it's historically on the low. But if you notice two things, in most cases your names are written in capital letters on your birth certificate. That's an indication that you are a sovereign corporation in and of yourself. And then
So it's slavery.
well, it's a system. I can't say, I wouldn't go as far as say that, because there are people that
You're
have
working to pay something that you don't. I mean, you're a corporation, so your business, they're making money off of you.
right.
That you're not getting anything from it for what you're.
But you're maybe the premise of it all is that you're paying a tariff such
To
that you
live?
can operate
Well, the government
your
is charging
practice.
to finance their expenditure. You know, their expenditures in keeping the land, the government running. So they charge they charge their members or the citizens.
So that would be some of the additional taxes that that add up to what we're paying on a regular basis.
So it's all based on greed, because prior to this system that was created by Europeans, folks was living and chilling, and everything was fine until someone decided they want to own everything.
I mean, I don't ascribe to that. I mean, I would ask you to clarify that in a little greater detail.
Okay, most native tribal people had no tariffs and taxes. They didn't outwear their welcome, so that the land was barren when they left. They moved with the flow of the food chain so that the earth could replenish itself. But then other people said, no, this is my land, and we're going to stay here, and we're going to force nature to abide by us.
Right.
And we're going
Well,
to put
my
up a
argument for
dam
that would
and block the
simply
water and create water flows.
So you're
where
saying
not
there was a
water
synergy
flows.
that existed
Yes.
maybe historically a very long time ago that
And
may
how'd
have been
that work
tripped
for
up.
them?
It worked well till they were.
Overcome by the people that didn't do that.
Well, the anytime the introduction of technology is often the game changer when in coming in contact with native societies in most regions across the world, and not for nothing, but the technology is usually wielded by individuals who seek to incorporate your land and your food and your wares into their own. And
Predatory in nature.
certainly enough.
And I agree
Imperialistic.
that I guess they did. You know, I hate to cite studies that I don't have the study in front of me, but they done studies on on the nature of cultures.
Right.
And the culture that you're speaking of had that sharing nature, take care of land. It says in Native Americans, but more predatory cultures have a necessity. Their ego is they identify themselves by what they own and what they overcome. And those groups overcame groups very much that had this other structure. So which one is really the better idea? Yeah, we all work together in some sense, but as soon as somebody who doesn't follow that plan comes along, we'll lose to that. Do you understand what I mean? The predatory nature and
Right.
and our trusting and
But that's
culture
nature.
of
That's
itself.
nature as a whole. But because
Strong survive and we eat.
strong survives, but there's also a respect for life. No other animal
Not
kills
predators.
for just sport. Even lions, if they kill, is because they're eating. It's very few animals who just kill for the.
And
I
I
can
would
kill
argue-
you, so I'm
and
going
I
to
would
do it.
argue that it's the feeding of the ego. It's the egoic man.
Well,
The
you
feeding of the
got to take
ego.
it back even
It is a
pre-ego,
feeding of
because ego is really you're going into the recognition of self, the recognition of
lack of recognition of self.
or-
Actually. Ego is a false identification of self. You know?
Okay, but it's an exercise in cognition. What I'm saying is, if you predate that level of cognition, you're going back to what would be more of an ethereal, if you will, the ether of your existence. Now, if you're talking on races and the different what discerns races, on that level, on an ether type level, to the core, if you will, on an atomic level, what you are looking at is certain elements of human society who've migrated to areas where the natural resources didn't provide for them.
For everyone.
For that group. A group that was alienated from a region that was providing for you natural resource wise.
So by necessity, they needed to go in there.
By necessity, where they had to go to survive, they end up having to take
overcome.
from one another and expand that taking in order to survive. Whereas certain people lived in certain parts of the earth where nature provided.
That's bull too. Because
No, there's
Eskimos
gotta be
survive.
truth to that.
Eskimos ain't had nothing. That thick ass
said
ice is cold. They get sun once in a
Eskimos
blue
survive
moon,
is the argument.
and they cut a hole in there, and they figured out how to
If
get
the
that
Eskimos-
seal to come up.
Right.
And they ate blubber. And
Yeah, but
they didn't go conquering nobody, and
No,
they
no,
had
no, but
fucked up
if-
living
if-
conditions.
I'm gonna argue that
If you look at from what you're saying,
the Eskimos did it.
if you look at what the Enoch, what they would call themselves as opposed to Eskimo, the pejorative term.
Is that a
would be
pejorative
Eskimo.
term?
It is pejorative.
bad?
They don't call themselves Eskimo.
Yeah, huh?
Think about it.
What the heck is Eskimo in first place?
That's what Western.
I thought there was like a state there.
That's what Western.
Oh, you
civilization-
Eskimoan.
Yeah, that's what they
It's
call
not-
them. That's not what they call
Well,
themselves.
Indians didn't call themselves Indians.
That's true. They had
Black
different
people
nations.
didn't. Well, now
But
we
no,
do.
no. What I was saying.
I
though,
was leading up to that.
no,
You know
but
what?
saying-
Yeah, why are we
but if
doing
you,
that?
If you look at the
Eskimos don't call themselves Eskimos.
no, what's the correct? The Enoch might not be the correct term. It's very, very close phonetically to what the term is. But the point being, Dre, is that if the people that lived in that
Nose
region,
rubbers.
no, the people that lived in that region moved around, migrated, much like those that lived in continental Africa. See, the resources moved, and the people, like I said,
Yeah,
moved
they
with it.
moved, yeah.
But the resources were there, which meant they didn't have to leave that particular area because they were.
They were harsh resources. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's
Well, if you look at the migration, historic migration of peoples throughout the continental
I'm not sure it's a
U.S.,
pejorative term.
it did come down from across the Bering Strait, from Kamchatka across the Bering Strait, which was frozen at the time, down through Alaska, through Northwest
Chukcha.
Territories, all the way down, traveling south. That's why you have same genetic code, whether it's Latin American or an Eskimo, if you will.
I found all the racial slurs for Eskimos, and I'm not sure Eskimo is a racial slur because in the racial slur database, the there's a slur, and then it represents Eskimos. So I guess Eskimo is. The
So then,
standard.
what is
I'm not going to say all these.
No,
names.
no.
I don't want to
what
be the
was
one
the
to say
term-
these.
No, but what was the term that
Chukcha? Is that the one you were talking about?
No,
What's it called? Muktuk?
no, Enoch.
I hope I'm not saying anything to piss everybody off. Yeah, never mind. I'm going to stop saying these words because I don't want to be that guy. Yeah, I am no way subscribed to any words. Yeah, I'm not subscribing to any of this. I'm sorry, but
so the eaters of the blubber.
No,
yeah,
they actually
they are called Eskimos, I guess. I mean,
snow. Well, the funniest
They call
slur.
cold as hell. That's what it's called.
Now that we get off on this tangent, which which is really cool, but
this is fun.
what movie was
We're
it?
having fun.
I heard somebody call somebody a moon cricket. I was like, when I heard that, I was like, man, they come up with
Black
that's
Dynamite.
Black Dynamite, yeah. Like, get over here, you moon cricket. No, it was a woman. She's like, get over here, you moon. It's President Nixon's wife.
Inuit is what you're asking.
Inuit, there we go.
Okay.
Inuit.
Because
Inuit.
Inuit.
It's
Inuit.
not racist. It's just politically correct. It's not like using the N word. That's they said, but it just there's better words, and I guess some people actually the First Nations person or an Indian or prefer to be called Inuit or Innu, not Eskimo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I mean, we
Learn something new every day.
Yeah,
Check
and
out
we could.
Mancave.
There's so much that's happening. I'm a little bit beside myself this evening, having come in a little bit under the weather, if you will. But I don't know what else is going out there.
Advisory panel recommends approval of female Viagra. Exciting?
I don't know if it's going to make it though.
Why not?
But the problem with it is that they can't prove that it has an effect on the women's psychology, which which they say has a greater participation in a woman's sexuality than a man, which is man have to deal with the physical part.
The man
of
is the
making his dick
physical
hard.
part of it, but the woman part.
Yeah. So will a pill affect their emotionally to affect their sex drive?
Yeah. Well, you know what you could do, because they've taken alcohol and powderized it, put some tequila in a pill. And there you go. You've handled the mental aspects
see,
of
now
Viagra.
she's intoxicated. So even though she says yes, she might really mean
She
no.
gonna mean no.
And
There
then
you
now
go.
we go here.
But
We
back
go with
to-
this again.
There we go with this again. I
Yes
know,
means
right?
no. I said yes, but I meant no. But I was intoxicated. So
There you go.
Yeah.
So well, if we do any, oh no, we do. But if if there is something developed that affects the mental part of a woman's libido, wouldn't that argument come into effect? How you know I didn't slip you a couple extra pills to make you mentally more ready? Think about it for a minute. Like, it's changing your mental state. Then I would be offended. Like, it's like, what's the difference between that? Smoking some weed, taking a tequila pill, if you got to affect that part. Now, the physical part, you say you're not quite sure that it does affect.
Right, that's
I haven't
why it's
heard
having
any-
a-
This is so nuanced for me
It
that I
says
don't really
here,
know.
okay, some of the women speaking Thursday described the condition. This is a condition, a pre-menstrual condition. I'm sorry, not pre-menstrual, pre-menopausal condition. They describe the condition as if a switch had gone off. They don't understand why they no longer want to have sex and find it distressing. So the clinical trials that show the drug worked better than placebo to boost a woman's sexual desire, increased the number of sexually satisfying events, and lowered women's distress at the loss of their libido.
So basically, we're messing with nature, because the reason the switch gets turned off is because the purpose for sex is to procreate. You old as shit now. Don't have no more babies. That's nature saying, okay, it's time to stop. Because if you just keep on, and so we can keep pumping it out as long as we can get it up. That's just, hey, don't be mad at nature.
Right.
But they have a cutoff switch. So how they gonna be mad at nature?
How does it work on a woman? How does it?
Well, the mechanism of action has to do with it has nothing to do with vasodilation or anything
What?
that
Like, it doesn't like increase blood to the
no,
head?
it doesn't have anything
Not
to
that that would
do.
help.
The mechanism of action with this is in no way similar
To
to
how
what
it
we
works
see
for
with
us?
ED drugs. But ironically enough, studies have shown and will show, and I certainly can speak from experience with this. Women that do use the male ED erectile dysfunction products experience the same physical attributes and effects of those drugs. Whereas if a woman takes
her
her nether
area
regions are
will becoming
sopping
gorged.
wet.
Oh, I thought you meant like
I thought they clit get
like
big or something.
fluffy.
Well,
like,
I mean,
swollen.
Well, yeah, engorged and swollen, but the literal
You're talking
correlation,
about the liquid of it,
right? The literal correlation: erection male, lubrication female.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So if a woman takes an ED drug, her vagina will become sopping wet, which correlates to a male getting a firmer, stronger erection. So,
Wow.
Quite honestly, I don't
So
know
why not
why.
just
Does
they
she get a
can't
headache?
Right.
Do the
Just-
same thing for both.
Yeah. Just mean,
But but if she doesn't want to have sex, being sopping wet as she as he stated,
So she still
wouldn't
don't
help
wanna-
much.
Yeah.
If you really don't want to have sex,
Right. You're right.
you know,
Yeah.
if you really if I really don't
yeah.
want to have sex and I got and
Or no, you
have
take a pill and you got a hard on, and then the girl doesn't come over,
and you don't want
you're
to have
sitting
sex,
there
now
like
you're upset.
right now you're more than upset.
I'm very
You're like
uncomfortable.
yeah, because
I heard.
you can't lay down on your stomach.
I'm wasting my damn pill.
You gotta
Yeah.
kickstand.
So I
sit on
mean,
your side.
so what do you do? But you raise a good point though,
Yeah.
right? If it doesn't affect the woman's psychology,
Well, if they're gonna invest time in figuring out a woman's
And
psychology,
if it does change her psychology, sorry to cut you.
rather than a sex drug, just make their ass chill out, man. Just give them a pill and just chill the fuck out. That would be a great drug.
well, you know what? I think that women certainly, without question, are aware of the commercial success of the ED drug campaign, and they've got to be looking at it like saying, like, wow, they've made something that works for men. They've got to be asking, why not something for us?
But they would probably want a chill out, because all of them, You know, they blame everything. Oh, I need some chocolate. I'm on my period. I'm on this. I'm this. And they always
So you're saying that you would
freaking out
rather
and stressing
wait,
out,
wait. You mean tell
flipping
me
out.
that you are against something that will make women enjoy?
No,
their
I'm not
sex
saying
more?
I'm against them having good sex. I'm saying if you're going to delve into the psyche of women, solve that problem so we can all get along first.
Yeah, but but you felt you came across a
Yeah, I came across something on a. I'm not gonna state.
No, go ahead. What?
So I come across, and yeah, it does have. It's not the same the way it works, but it does have effects on the woman Viagra. It does have effects on their genitalia or
Genitalia, yeah.
and how it mentally affects them is because when they get premenopausal, they worry. Quite honestly about that, like we do when we get older, is like, is it going to work? The stress and pressure of that. The pill making that come on automatically relieves them of the tension of, well, at least my stuff's going to work. And, you know, after a certain age, premenopausal for men after midlife crisis, things like, or after,
And that's what I was talking about. They be stressing. It's like
that, worried about it working. Like,
yeah.
well, I know it's going to work.
Worrying about the vagina self-lubricating?
Yeah, they
Or worried about their inexistent libido?
Right, it's their mental. The words they use were the mental and emotional barriers of having the mental and emotional barriers to having a satisfying sex life, not the physical barriers. The mental and emotional barriers of having a satisfying sexual life is what's going on in your head about your sex life, and it's supposed to help in that effect that they won't at least have to worry about it, so it can have that effect. But on the other side, it doesn't change their mood.
I think that especially with our
It doesn't-
community, we
But
just
then
need
again,
to,
Viagra doesn't change our mood.
yeah, we just need to expand our horizons sexually. I think a lot of people are just limited in their thought process of what sex is, and if it don't work that way, I'm ass out. Whereas, you got to explore, especially as it's like working out. I can't go as hard as I used to when I was 20-something because my body ain't going, I'm going to be in pain. So you have to work out according to the way your body is. So as we mature, we have to do things differently than we used to do when we were 20.
So what are your suggestions that they do away with trying to get this approved by the FDA or what?
I say
No,
it
I'm
should
just
be
saying,
approved.
just expand their thought process to explore other means of sexual gratification.
Like
if
what?
that doesn't work.
I mean, there's no reinvention of the wheel. I mean, we've been having sex for tens of thousands of years in the ways that we have. As creative as it gets, there are no new holes to be discovered. Right? We still only
But
have
do we
one
agree
penis.
that sex
So you think
is
we're-
mental?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if
So
we
m-
expand our minds, we'll come up with
Well,
something.
well, maybe the expansion is a drug that will affect. Now, one of the arguments was that another member of the panel raised concern that the drug could be used as a date
booty
rape
hole.
drug. But the drug maker said that the drug was slow acting and could make women sleepy, but not incapacitated.
There you go. And their mental facilities are still together.
Yeah.
They just be wet.
You can
As
smoke a bowl and do that, can you?
I mean, no, I mean,
Eat a little something.
the women.
Yeah.
Nah, I think this
they're
is
doing-
progress. I and you can get these drugs.
Little THC and something edible would do the same thing.
I don't know.
yeah, that's proof for medical use.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
for
I'm not
sex,
promoting that that's a good idea. I'm just saying that
But-
that's
but
an
it's
argument, isn't it?
it has not. Yeah, but I mean, no one looks at weed and says this.
You get
There's no
sleepy,
medical
but you're
studies.
not knocked out.
There's no medical studies that say
You're
smoking
heightened.
weed is going to make you want to have sex.
Because they haven't done
I've
it
heard
yet.
some case studies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've conducted by yourself.
No,
I'm sure, but
no. I just heard that there's some case studies out there that fully support
yeah.
that smoking some weed made
Well,
women
consuming
want to
an
have
edible or
sex.
two.
Well, but see, the
But like I
rudiments
said,
of
so
that
does
argument,
tequila.
the rudiments of that
Vodka.
argument is based on a racist society that said the smoking of quote unquote reefers at the time was a mechanism of action that black men used to seduce white women, was by giving them reefers for them to smoke.
Reefer
I
madness.
got
And
the
that they would-
Reefer
yes.
madness.
I got the reefers.
And they would be horny and want to have sex with black men, but it wasn't that case. But I will say
Ann, would you like some reefers?
it is.
I got
I would like to mention, though, a number of companies, including Pfizer and Bayer, have pulled out of the business of creating a female Viagra, which is surprising, because if you're Pfizer, why wouldn't you not want to make another product to have a second? Yeah, to make another gold rush.
It may not be a gold rush. It's too controversial, and I don't know if women will be lining up for that like men lined up when they heard.
Let me tell you something.
When men heard that it was anything that had to do with helping their sex life, we went bananas.
No, it's and pornography at XXX Media is always a front runner as far as the use of technology. It also is a front runner in this, because I know that females have already been introduced to this drug in the industry. So that being said, it's just a matter of
some people that have taken this?
Oh, girls already. You can get this.
Did they like it, or would they say to you about it?
They love it, and the thing about it is, like, women increasingly are having less and less a problem with their men making avail of all the ED drugs that are there. For they're like, hey, anything that'll make it better is good for you, good for me. Well, the girls in the XXX industry have known about the existence of female Viagra for a long time. It's mostly some of the girls that might be 30, 35, 40, the MILFs in that genre.
Yeah, because they have to increase the viscosity and.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, and if they're 40 working with a guy that's like 22, they want to have the same type of.
I didn't know women had that problem. It really brought it to my attention. Opened my eyes on that. I think Dr. Oz. He did a study where he had these 3 buckets, and he had a stick, and he had the first bucket, and they would put some whitey water in there, and it was real water. He's mixing the bucket, and it's like lemonade. Mixing. He goes, this is a woman in her 20s. He says this bucket is a woman in her 30s. He sticks the stick in there, and it's a little harder to mix. It's more like paint. And he says, this is a woman in her late 40s, and he takes the stick and he stuck it down in the bucket. The stick stuck straight up by itself. I was like, woo!
Wait, Dr.
Oz did that. Blew my mind. He stuck the stick in it and it stood straight up. I was like, ooh, really? Oh, I know women in their 40s across the nation was like, oh, you son of a gun. Did you have to go ahead and put us out there like that?
I don't know.
And I'm hoping that's not the case.
I hope they get it approved, because women certainly deserve every bit of the miracles of modern medicine as they come.
I also believe it's a mixture of nutrition and exercise as well, because if you take care of your body, it'll take care of you. So
but is that going to extend one's sexual health?
Well, it's just like women that exercise, their menstrual cycle changes. So
that's true, very true.
It changes all there.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that at 48, just because you jog and you jog, you're saying shape, your pussy's going to get wetter at 48, whether you're in shape or not?
Well,
I would argue.
I would think that it would.
Everything, your body overall.
People have babies late in life if they take care of themselves. So if you can have a baby, you can get a little more.
And here's a mental part for a woman. And I believe, and I know
we got to prepare as we prepare.
And we are going to wrap up. And I'm real quick is that when physical fitness, a woman mentally feels better about herself and her sexuality, which in turn turns on the faucet.
Yeah.
So that might be how that helps most.
No doubt.
With that note,
PCW Fit ladies, hit us up online. Let's get that body flowing so that juices will roll out.
ThomasBell.tv. That's it.
Were you on stage or any shows coming on?
No, not right now.
And then your season of Raising Willie, has the new one started?
Hasn't started yet.
Look for me when Scandal comes back.
Cool. Well, of course, this is the Mancave people coming to you from LA Talk Radio Live every Thursday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. I'm your man, Lex Steele. I want to thank you for joining us. And for all the good people here on Mancave Live, thank you for joining us tonight. Good luck, Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cavaliers?
Cavaliers.
The Cavaliers. And Philadelphia 76ers.
Great job. From our perspective, this is Mancave Live with your host, Lexington Steele, and co-host, Andre Lavelle, and Johnny Depp on LA Talk Radio. Let's get it in.